Okay, so let's talk about this side right here first. This AL2 CL3, that 2 shouldn't be in there. Otherwise it doesn't work. Okay? I'm not going to work through all of them. Which ones do you want to talk about?
You want to go over that one?
This one right here? Sure. So it's pretty simple to name this. Al is not a transition metal, so we don't have to put a Roman numeral. It's just going to be aluminum chloride. It is ionic, which everything on this page is ionic. The Al, Al is in group 13, so it has 3 dots. Chlorine's in group 17, it has 7 dots. The oxidation number of the charge is going to be +3. This one's going to be -1.
Wait, I thought it was trichloride.
No, because you don't put a prefix if it's an ionic bond. There should not be prefixes on anything on this side because they're all ionic. Okay, whether it's just the first one or the next one. The only thing that you may have are Roman numerals. What else, Ella?
The tin bromide.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Okay, so tin is not a transition metal. Okay, now we treat it like a transition metal, but we're not going to do that. Okay, so it's just going to be tin bromide.
I was trying to put a Roman numeral with it. It was 4, and I couldn't figure out how that was supposed to work out.
Yeah, so all you have to do is SN with 4 dots and bromine with 7. And if you go on to take chemistry later on, there's a couple of them that aren't. There's a couple of elements that have multiple oxidation numbers that aren't in the transition metals. Okay, tin's one of them, but we're not gonna worry about it. Kale?
So, the aluminum chloride one, why do we not put the 3 after chloride?
A Roman numeral 3?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, you only put the Roman numerals for the metals, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you never put them for the non-metals. All right, because we know that chlorine is always going to be the same thing. It's not going to change. The only reason why we put Roman numerals is because iron has a couple of different oxidation numbers or charges or outer shell electron configurations. Okay, same thing down here with nickel. It has multiple. That's why we put it, because we can't tell exactly what it is. Devin?
Couldn't that also be because like the metallic bonds and everything? It's like, is it because like they can change their like electrons like a lot easier?
Well, yeah, and that's why, because it doesn't have everything in group 1 has 1 valence electron. Group 2 has 2. Well, groups 3 through 12, they have 2 and then some. Okay, and they can gain or lose electrons based on that. So it's a little bit more complicated. Any other ones you want me to work on here? Kale? Which one?
Calcium chloride.
Okay, so calcium is just Ca, chlorine with 2 dots. Chlorine is Cl with 7 dots. This is +2, -1. One of these dots can go over here to chlorine, but we have 1 dot left, so we've got to make another chlorine for that dot to go to. And so the formula here is going to be CaCl2. It takes 2 chlorines, all right, to get rid of all the dots of the Ca. Others on this page. Okay, flip it over to the back. Which of these you want me to go over? What you should have found was this side was a lot easier than the other side. Okay, because you don't have to do the dot diagrams. You don't have to worry about Roman numerals. It tells you in the name how many of each we have. Okay, and when you write the name for the formula, you just put a prefix on all of them unless the first one only has one. Quentin, question?
So if it's like monoxide, you don't have to put or you don't have to put like or you don't have to put like a sub.
So like this one right here.
Yeah.
So carbon monoxide, there's no prefix on carbon because there's just one.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna be a C. And monoxide means one also, so
Yeah.
there's gonna be an L.
Okay.
The mono, well, the prefix mono, you'll only use that if it's the second element. Okay? What else? By the way, these are all covalent, right? None of the other ones you want me to go through? Kale?
The chlorine and then the F.
This one right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just gonna be chlorine. There's no prefix because there's only one, it's the first element. And the prefix for 3 is tri. So, tri fluoride. Chlorine trifluoride. You want me to do the dots for that too, or?
Okay.
Okay. Nothing else? Okay, on. Actually, let me do this first so I can turn off the video. Here's the worksheet for today. And I'm gonna get you started on this, and then there's a quiz that we're gonna take too.
Can we go over the naming chemical compounds first?
Sure.
Yeah.
Pencil? Yeah. So let me get you started on this worksheet. Turn to the side with NABR at the top. So this is ionic compounds that are non-transition metals. So there's no transition metals, so go ahead. You want it. So when we name it, it's fairly simple. We're just going to say the first element, sodium. There's no Roman numeral. And we're going to change the ending of the second element to bromine. Right? It's a little bit more complicated down here. You're going to have to draw the dot diagram. So for potassium iodide, potassium is K. How many dots for potassium? One. It's a group 1. And then iodine's in group 17, so it has 7. And so that 1 dot goes there. The potassium stable now, the iodine stable. The formula is just going to be K. All right? So that side should be easy. The other side's a little bit more complicated. This is going to be for all metals. There's some transition, and there's some that are not transition on this. So let's name the first one. Is Ti a transition metal?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's going to be titanium, something, chloride. So let's figure out what that something is. How many dots does chlorine have?
7.
7. So then when we need 4 of them. So how many total electrons do the 4 chlorines need? 4. Okay, 1 for each one, so you need a total of 4. So it's going to be titanium 4, which is just IV chloride. It's a little bit easier when you have the name to figure out the formula, because they tell you what the oxidation number is or the number of electrons. So chromium 6 phosphide, this is going to be Cr with 6 dots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Phosphorus is in group 15. So how many electrons does it have? 5. So we'll make a P with 5 electrons around it. So 3 of these electrons from chromium will go to that phosphorus. That phosphorus is stable. This is the chromium. No, it still has 3 left, so we're gonna have to make another phosphorus with. So what's the formula gonna be for this? They're both stable now.
Two?
CRP2.
Oh.
Because there's 1 CR and 2 Ps to get rid of all the electrons. Okay, so that's that worksheet. So you want to talk about the last quiz, Maren, is that what you said?
Yeah.
So let me pull it up. Okay. All right, here's the first question. It says name the compound MgCl2. This is just magnesium chloride is all that it is. Okay, and a lot of people put magnesium 2 chloride. That's not right because magnesium is not a transition metal, right? Magnesium dichloride, that's not right because it's ionic. We don't put a prefix if it's ionic. All right, and I guess nobody picked this one, but it's just magnesium chloride. The next one, copper 2 chloride, should be CuCl2. Chlorine has, you may do the dots for that. Chlorine has 7 dots. And copper has 2 dots to get rid of. So it's going to take 2 chlorines to take all the dots from the copper. The biggest difference between ionic bonds, how ionic compounds are named versus covalent compounds, is covalent compounds have prefixes added to their names to represent the number of atoms of the element in that compound. Okay, which most of you got that right. The covalent compound CF4 will be called carbon tetrafluoride. Okay, most of you got that one right. The formula for the covalent compound bromine pentafluoride would be BRF5. Everybody got that one right. So the one that people missed, it looks like, is the MgCl2, which is just magnesium chloride. So on Canvas, before you get busy on that worksheet, there's a quiz for you. This quiz is called Naming Chemical Formulas Ionic. So it's just writing the name for chemical formulas is all that it is. Tomorrow you will do writing formulas from the names. So take a few minutes, take that quiz, and then you can get busy on the worksheet. And if you need me to reset the other quiz that I just went over, because I did reset it, there were 3, you had 3 more takes on it. Send me an email and I'll reset it again for you.
I did worse on the second try.
It just takes your highest one, so.
Yeah.